Yes, so the to-do list starts with, it's homework number 5 and it is due tonight. Okay, I plan to make a quiz today, and I feel like I'm going to do 2 questions from systems of equations and 2 questions from exponents, and post that this afternoon or this evening, and it will be due next week on Tuesday. Is quiz number 4. So it should be due the 19th. I'll check my dates. Okay, and then the next thing to start working on tomorrow is the new homework. Homework number 6 will be available soon and is due on the 19th as well. Okay, so we are going to talk about monomials, polynomials, how to multiply, add and subtract, how to work with polynomials. Okay, just starting off with what a monomial is. So this would be notes for homework 6. These notes are also from chapter 5. I think it's like section 5.3 to 5.7. So a monomial is a single term expression, and it's either a number or a product of a number and one or more variables. So I'm just going to list a bunch of examples. So I mentioned it could be just a number like -2. we've seen things like 5x. Oh, actually, before I do these examples, there's a little bit more that I haven't mentioned. Number and one or more variables, and the variables have to have whole number exponents. Okay, so now we can put the examples like -2. With 5x, you've got the product of 5 and the variable x. Its exponent is 1, which is a whole number. And something like 3/5 ab squared. And then what's going to be listed next are things that are not monomials or not polynomials. So have a negative exponent, like let's do x to the -2 is not a monomial. The problem is that negative exponent. And you also can't have fractions as your exponent for polynomials or monomials. So just something of what is not okay would be like just let's go with 5x to the 1/2 power is not a monomial. Again, it's that power that's the problem. You can have a fraction as your number, just not as your power. Not like this. Okay, next. Is to talk about like terms. So any monomials with the same variable part are called like terms. It's so difficult. All right, so you've probably heard me say like combine like terms. It means put the parts of the expression that have the same variable together with the other part that has the same variable. Like this. A lot of problems will just start with something like simplify or add or subtract. We're going to say simplify. Nine x squared plus x 9x squared plus x squared. So these are like terms. You've got a variable part of x squared. And you've got 9 of these and one more, so 10x squared total. Another way to write that is 9 plus 1 of the x squareds. So once again, we want to simplify. 5ab squared minus 20ab squared plus 3ab squared. So each of these three parts is called a monomial, but they're also called like terms. Got 5 of these, subtract 20 of them, add 3 more, or you can write it like this. 5 minus 20 plus 3 of a b squared. So let's do this part. 5 minus 20 is negative 15. Negative 15 plus 3 is negative 12. Another one with fractions. It's not that bad. It's just, it looks messy. So we're going to take 1/4 t and subtract 3/2 t and add t. It's 1/4 t minus 3/2 t plus t. So all of them are like terms. It's got t as your variable. And we're going to put them together. And I'm going to write it as 1/4 minus 3/2 plus 1 of these times t. Okay, and then we're going to need to get a common denominator. So the common denominator will be 4. Thanks. First term's fine, 1/4. The 3/2, I would multiply by 2/2. Add 4/4 is another way to write 1. And then don't forget your variable t. So we've got 1/4 minus 6/4 plus 4/4 t. So over your common denominator is 1 minus 6 plus 4. It's all multiplied with t. So it's a negative 1/4 t. So if you like -5 and go +4, you're at -1. So we've talked about monomial. That's like very specific. It's just a single term. A polynomial is a finite sum of monomials. And then I'm going to probably talk about one more, which is called a binomial. And then that's about it. Monomial, a polynomial is bigger, like more open. It's still finite. Okay, so let's go. We've already talked about monomials. It's just a single term that's a number or a number and a variable. Let's go with two terms, like a number 8 and a variable x, 8 plus x. And then let's do three terms where we've got 3xy squared. Add x squared y, subtract 1. And we're going to do one more with four terms. Starting with a, we're going to add b, subtract 2c, add 3d. Okay, let's see. I think I've got this correct, but a binomial would be a sum of two monomials, or like a polynomial with two terms. Like this one works. 8 plus x is a binomial. Or let's just do x squared plus 49. Or x squared plus y squared. Or 8 plus 2. So like a polynomial is just a finite sum of your terms, like 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, however many terms you want. A binomial has to have two terms. And a monomial is exactly 1. Alrighty, next, the degree of a polynomial. It's the highest power of the variable. Okay, next, we're looking at x to the 10th plus 4x squared minus 1. This would have degree 10. We're doing 6x plus 2 has a degree of 1. This power right here. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Let's do one more. Just -4. Has degree 0. So you could write this as well, you can pick, never mind, we're gonna, I was gonna pick a variable, maybe x. Like the idea I have is if it was -4 times x to the 0, any variable with power 0 is 1, but maybe it's a little bit confusing. On to adding and subtracting polynomials. So let's just add a squared minus 3a plus 1 with 5a squared minus 2a plus 6. So with addition, we can just drop the parentheses, and then we're just going to combine like terms. Just dropping parentheses. A squared minus 3a plus 1 plus 5a squared minus 2a plus 6. So you can rearrange these. I like to just highlight them, like I'll put a square around the a squareds. A squared plus 5a squared is 6a squared. And then let's underline the numbers with a. It's negative 3a, negative 2a is negative 5a. And then the number values were put together. So there's plus 1 and plus 6, so plus 7. So we're going to subtract 7y squared minus 8y plus 10 from 3y squared minus 3y plus 2. Subtract this from this. So you need to start with this part and then put subtraction and then put all of this after in parentheses. So starting here, 3y squared minus 3y plus 2. And then subtract full piece here in parentheses, 7y squared minus 8y. Right back. One moment. Okay, thank you, everybody. I have quite a few cats, and they all get bored. Okay, we distribute this minus sign. And then combine like terms after that. So 3y squared minus 3y plus 2 minus 7y squared plus 8y, subtract 10 And then get the like terms together, starting with the squared numbers. The 3y squared and the negative 7y squared. Be negative 4y squared. And now you've got y values, negative 3y and a positive 8y. So it's positive 5y. And then there's these numbers. A positive 2 and a negative 10 would add up to negative 8. And then you're done. Okay, subtract. Do x minus 1 from 10x squared plus 2x minus 5. So if you have to subtract this from this, start with that part, copy all of that down. And then subtract. And then take the next part and keep it all in parentheses. So the whole piece, 2x minus 1. Okay, distribute the negative sign. So this goes to the 2x and it goes over to negative 1. You have 10x squared plus 2x minus 5. Minus 2x plus 1. I could do that, but I'm going to just put equals. 10x squared is the only term like that, so it just gets copied down. Positive 2x and a negative 2x is 0x, which we don't need to write down. And what's left over are the number values of negative 5 with positive 1, negative 4. To multiply two polynomials, you multiply each term in the first with each term in the second, and the first polynomial with each term in the second polynomial. In particular, to multiply two binomials, we use FOIL. FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, and last. And then practicing will help. So the first one, we take 2x minus 5 and multiply with 3x minus 1. Okay, so the first is the first from either of these binomials, the 2x and the 3x. So multiply 2x with 3x to get 6x squared. And then outside is like the outside edges of this whole maybe expression, the 2x and negative 1 is negative 2x. Inside are the values kind of in here next to each other. Negative 5 times 3x is negative 15x. And then last is like the values that we haven't multiplied together yet, the negative 5 and negative 1, which is positive 5. So this was like first, outside, inside, last. And then you put the like terms together. Negative 2x, negative 15x is negative 17x. We're going to multiply 7x cubed minus 1 with 2x squared plus 4. First would be 7x cubed times 2x squared is 14x with the power of 3 plus 2. 14x to the 5th. And then outside is 7x cubed times 4. So it's 28x cubed. Negative 1 times 2x squared. So we're subtracting 2x squared. And then the last one is negative 1 times positive 4 is negative 4. And I don't have any like terms, so that's my answer. 14x to the 5th, add 28x cubed, subtract 2x squared, subtract 4. All right, we're going to do one with fractions. I know fractions look messy, but they're not that bad. We want to take x plus 1/2 and multiply with x minus 3/2. So let's go here. X times x is x squared. And then x multiplied with negative 3/2, just subtract 3/2 x. 1/2 times x. X. And then at the end, when you have positive 1/2 times negative 3/2, it's going to be negative. Multiply the numerators together to get 3. Multiply the denominators together to get 4. And then we do have like terms in the middle, and they have a common denominator. So negative 3/2 x plus a positive 1/2 x is negative 2 over 2 x. So we have 1. We have x squared minus 1x minus 3/4. Or just x squared minus x minus 3/4. Okay, the next part we're talking about is a special product. It's called the difference of squares. So where we are right now, we'll be looking at the product of the difference of squares, which looks like so you've got a plus b, and then it would be multiplied with an a minus b. And then we'll work on doing this, foiling these out. And we'll see that every time you get a squared minus b squared. Which is a difference, subtraction, between two numbers that are squared. It's a difference of squares. Okay, later in the semester, we're going to work on factoring, and we're going to spot stuff like this and then go back to factored form like that. So this direction is what we're doing today. Working backwards is something we'll do soon. All right, for now, we're going to multiply a plus 2 times a minus 2. So we can go ahead and just like FOIL through this, but we're going to get a squared minus 4. So a times a is a squared minus 2a plus 2a minus 4. So this would be your answer, a squared minus 4. But I made it look like this, a squared minus 2 squared, just to show you how it matches the formula. Like a plus 2 times a minus 2 is a squared minus 2 squared. Multiply. Let's do 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 1. Okay, so you can FOIL it out if you want to, but we're going to use the formula now. So it's 2x squared minus 1 squared. Which would be 2 squared times x squared, 4x squared minus 1. Okay, and then be extra careful when it's kind of out of order in a sense, like when you have 5 minus x times 5 plus x. You don't want to do x squared minus 5 squared. You've got to take the first value and square it, and then subtract the other part squared. So you have to start with 5 squared. And then minus x squared. Get 25 minus x squared. Okay, let's do one more. Let's go with thinking like 3x plus y times 3x minus y. Take your first value, 3x, and it would be squared. Subtract the other value, y. It also gets squared. So you have your difference of squares. Nine x squared minus y squared. Okay. After that, we talk about dividing a polynomial by a monomial. Means you just take each term of the polynomial and divide it by the monomial. Okay. to divide each term of the polynomial by the monomial. Want to divide 7x to the 6th minus 9x to the 4th by 3x squared. So you take this expression, 27x to the 6th minus 9x to the, then divide it by 3x squared. Okay. Like this is, just take each term from the polynomial and then divide by this little monomial. So 27x to the 6th over 3x squared, then minus 9x to the 4th over 3x squared, and we'll work on both of those terms after that. So 27 divided by 3 is going to be 9. And for x, it's to a power of 6 minus 2. And then we're subtracting 9 over 3, which is 3. X has a power of 4 minus 2. Or subtract 2. So it's 9x to the 4th and subtract 3x squared. Okay, I've got 2 more examples, and I want to make sure I show you something that you don't want to do, a mistake to look out for, and I think will be good. Okay, we're going to divide 4a to the 4th minus a cubed plus 12a squared by negative 2a. So I'm just going to rewrite this. 4a to the 4th subtract a cubed add 12 squared is all divided by negative 2a. So I'm just going to break this up first, kind of like that note I had before. We're going to take 4a to the fourth and put it over negative 2a. I'm going to have a minus, let's see, I've got minus a cubed, and it's divided by negative 2a, which we'll talk about in a minute. Let's have this last part, 12a squared. It also gets put over negative 2a. Okay, so it's the minus signs we want to be careful for. This positive 4 over negative 2 is negative 2. A has a power of 4 minus 1. Minus a negative is going to make this positive, or this negative over this negative is positive. So plus 1/2. A has a power of 3 minus 1. And then this minus sign here is going to make this a negative 6. A has a power of 2 minus 1. Okay, negative 2a cubed. Plus 1/2 a squared. Minus 6a. 2 minus 1 is 1, and a to the first is just a. Okay, so they're going to do 6x to the fourth y squared minus 4xy, and it's divided by 2xy. Okay, let's break it up first. Take this part, divide by 2xy, and then take this part, divide by 2xy. All right, 6 over 2 is going to be 3. X has a power of 4 minus 1. Y has a power of 2 minus 1. Minus 4 over 2 is 2. X over x is 1. Y over y is 1. We've talked about a number over itself reduces to 1. So right here is just 2. Okay, you've got 3x cubed, y to the first, or just y, and then minus 2. So this is something that you need to make sure you don't do, or like a mistake that's common, and you don't want to make this mistake. So I'm going to put a big warning sign first. x plus 2 over 2, it does not equal x plus 1. Or you can't cancel the 2's because of this plus sign right here. If you want to work with x plus 2 over 2, you can do like we did before and take this part and put it over 2 and this part and put it over 2. So you'd have to have x over 2 plus 2 over 2. So this does equal x divided by 2 added to 2 over 2, which would be x over 2 plus 1. So just be careful with this kind of symbol of like subtraction or addition between your values, your terms. You can't just cancel down like you do with multiplication. You have to break up each term and put it over that monomial or whatever you divide by. Okay, let's see if we can do another example or so and then call it good for today. So we're going to simplify the following expression. We are going to do, yeah, we're going to do the whole thing. We've got x minus 4 squared plus x plus 4 times x minus 4. Is all divided by 2x. So we're going to have to really expand and simplify the numerator. And then once that's all done, we'll put each piece over this denominator. So to get x minus 4 squared, I'm going to FOIL. And just even need to like write it down first. X minus 4 multiplied with itself. This though I can do right away. It's a difference of squares. X plus 4 times x minus 4 is x squared minus 4 squared. X squared minus 16. So this is my difference of squares right here. And I just need to copy down 2x. All right, now I need to FOIL out this first part. X minus 4 times x minus 4 is going to be x squared minus 4x plus 16. FOILing. And I've got a plus x squared minus 16. Almost done. It's all over 2x. So this is negative 8x. Oh, also you've got these x squares over here too. So let's get the x squares together first. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared. Okay. Let's find all of these x values. It's just these ones. Okay. Minus 8x. And with this plus 16 and minus 16, it adds up to 0. So I'm just going to maybe cross those out. And then divide by 2x. So you've got your 2x squared over 2x and a negative 8x over 2x. Two over 2 is 1. X has a power of 2 minus 1, which is 1. Actually, I'm just going to erase this part. Okay, we're going to get to the end here. 2 over 2 is 1, and then it's times x to the first minus 8 over 2, which is 4, and x over x is 1. So x to the first minus 4 is x minus 4. Okay, that's good for today. So I think next time all we have to do is a bunch of examples. And I plan on making a quick quiz for you today. So look out for your quiz. Thank you. We're all good.